welcome back to the channel. So as it is Sunday, we're going to be doing another Sunday baking video. So today is a recipe I've never actually made before. I've never made this type of bake before. So we are making Kinder Bueno blondies. So it's going to be interesting. Might be a success, might be a fail, who knows. I'm figuring out angles in the kitchen. Again, we don't have the biggest amount of space, so it's just trying to figure out where works best. I feel like where you are currently is probably the best angle because you can actually see everything I'm doing. So yeah, hopefully this is a better format. Do let me know. And let's get into it. The ingredients you are going to need is butter. As we know, I like going with the stalk. You're going to need some eggs, 3 at least, some Nutella, can be the actual brand, can be, you know, store brand, whatever you want. Can also be, I know for example like M&S do some like golden kind of caramel ones, can be stuff like that as well if that's the flavour you want to go for. You need some caster sugar and also some light brown sugar, plain white flour, some vanilla extract, some corn flour, and then you need ideally between 300 to 400 grams of chocolate. The recipe actually calls for a mix of the Kinder Bueno chocolate and the actual Kinder Bueno bars, but I opted for 2 packets of these just because I think that will be quite nice. And then as always, you know, mixer, scales, bowls, all of that good stuff. So the first things to do, as pretty much for all standard recipes, preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius and line a baking tray. The baking tray that I'm using is the same we did for the brownies. So I believe this is a 9 by 9 inch, just a square tin around that size, line it with baking parchment and leave that to the side. And now we can get on to the actual mixing of ingredients. So this recipe calls for 125 grams of light brown sugar and 125 grams of caster sugar. So I'm just going to weigh them out. So that is the light brown sugar going in, and then just some caster sugar. In that goes. And then we also want to now melt 200 grams of butter. Okay, so my butter has been melted, so I'm just pouring it in. So this is what your consistency should look like. It's quite thick and goopy, but all fully combined. Okay, so now we're going to add in our eggs. So the recipe requires 3 medium eggs. So just crack them in one at a time, mix them one at a time. Number 2, number 3. And then you just want a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So as you can see, it's quite a runny consistency. Definitely not as thick as it was. There you go, so that's what your mixture should look like right about now. So now we're going to measure out our flour because we're going to start adding in all the dry ingredients. So this recipe calls for 275 grams of plain flour, and that is going to get sifted into the mixture. And then you just want 1 tablespoon of corn flour. Okay, so I've fully incorporated all the flour and dry ingredients, and this is quite a thick consistency. So I'm guessing we're on the right track because it's definitely thicker than cake batter and brownie batter. So next step is to add most of the chocolate. So as I already said, the actual recipe calls for between 150 and 200 grams of both the Kinder chocolate and Kinder Buenos, but I only have Kinder chocolate. I've got about 350 grams. Then I'm just literally splitting it in the chunks that they have and plopping it into the mixture. I will probably do about 1.5 of the packs because 1 pack is 150 grams of chocolate. So do about 1.5. And we're just trying to make it so it is as evenly distributed as possible. And then this is just going to go straight into our lined tin. just going to smooth it out, fill all of those corners as best as we can. But now we are going to weigh out 125 grams of our Nutella, and we're going to microwave it to make it just a bit runnier. And then that's going to essentially get dolloped and marbled and mixed into the mixture. There you go. So you just want your Nutella so it's just a bit more runny than it is normally. And then you're just going to want to put dollops around the tin. Now I'm just taking a knife, and that's going to really help us swirl in and swirl it all around. So as you can see, it's all nice and mixed in, but it's not completely incorporated in. And now the only thing we have left to do is put the rest of our Kinder Buenos on top of it. And this is the final look. Looks really good. So now what we're going to do is pop it in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. Ideally what you want to be looking for is a slight wobble in the middle. So we'll put it in for 25 minutes and check in and see how they're doing. Okay, so they have been in the oven for about 22-23 minutes, and this is what they're looking like. And there is a slight wobble in the middle, so these are literally going to now sit until they're completely cool in the tray, and then once they're cool we'll take them out and cut them up so we can see what they look like. So these have been all cooled and cut now, and this is what they are looking like. I don't know if I over baked them a little bit, but yeah, I'm just popping them in a Tupperware tub. It'll be all good.